Yesterday, your horse walked to the gate the second he saw you. Today, he stops halfway, lifts his head, and looks past you like something changed overnight. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe the horse who's been tense for weeks suddenly goes quiet. Too quiet. He stands still at the mounting block, but the softness isn't really there. The eyes are flatter. The curiosity is gone. Maybe she's suddenly clingy, suddenly cold. Suddenly reactive in the one corner she's passed 100 times. Suddenly hard to catch. Suddenly too watchful. Suddenly not herself. And this is the moment most people misread. We reach for the familiar explanations because they're available. Bad mood, freshness, stubbornness, hormones, attitude. He's testing me. She's being dramatic. And to be fair, those explanations feel reasonable on the surface. Because behavior is what we can see. But with horses, the visible behavior is often the final layer, not the first one. What looks sudden to you may have been building inside the horse for days. What looks random may actually be highly organized. What looks like a personality shift may be a nervous system telling the truth before anything else can. That's the hidden psychology in this. Because when a horse suddenly acts different, the most important thing is not just the behavior. It's the change. A change in what the horse expects. A change in what the horse feels is safe. A change in how the horse is regulating emotion, memory, social connection, or physical comfort. In other words, something in the horse's internal map has moved. And once you understand that, a lot of mysterious horse behavior stops looking mysterious at all. It starts looking meaningful. Modern neuroscience increasingly describes the brain as a prediction machine. That idea isn't just useful for humans. It matters enormously for horses. A horse survives by detecting patterns and noticing when those patterns break. Same rider, same path, same herd, same sounds, same order of events. Predictable means survivable. So when something changes, even subtly, the horse's brain doesn't shrug and say, probably nothing. It asks a much older question. Is the map still safe? That's why a horse can react before you see any clear reason. Long before there's a big visible explosion, the nervous system may already be working. Joseph Ledoux's research on threat processing helped explain something important across mammals. The brain can respond to possible danger before the slower, more deliberate systems fully catch up. Translated into everyday horse language, that means your horse may spook, brace, rush, freeze, or disconnect before he could ever explain it to you. The body moves first. So when a horse suddenly starts acting different, you may be seeing a prediction error, not a moral failure, not a character flaw, not proof that your horse is trying to make life difficult. A prediction error simply means the horse expected one thing, and the world delivered something else. Maybe it was obvious, a new object, a new horse in the field, a louder wind, a different saddle feel, but sometimes it's almost invisible to us. Your breathing changed. Your timing changed. There's tension in your hands you haven't noticed. A herd mate is missing. The routine is off by 10 minutes. The horse smells something you never registered. The footing feels slightly unstable. The body remembers discomfort in a place that used to feel neutral. To a prey animal, small is not always small. And that leads to the next layer, which is where this gets even more interesting. Horses don't just react to what is happening now. They react to what now reminds them of. That's where memory enters the story. The amygdala helps give experiences emotional weight. The hippocampus helps tie those experiences to context, place, and sequence. So the horse does not simply remember an event like a neat little file labeled bad thing. The horse remembers patterns. The corner of the arena, the sound of rain on the roof, the pressure in the body, the smell in the air, the human's tension, the feeling just before something happened. So when your horse seems absolutely fine for days, and then suddenly reacts in one oddly specific moment, it may not be because the horse is irrational. It may be because the brain has recognized a pattern before you did. That strange hesitation at the trailer, that instant tightness near one gate, that abrupt change when the wind picks up, that one place on the trail where the whole body goes different. Sometimes the horse is not reacting to the object at all. The horse is reacting to the memory network the moment has activated. This is why he's done this before. So he should be over. It is such a weak explanation of animal behavior. Emotional memory doesn't work like a spreadsheet. It works more like association. If enough pieces of an old picture suddenly line up, the nervous system can return to that old emotion fast. And if the original emotion involved fear, isolation, confusion, or discomfort, the reaction can feel bigger than the current moment seems to justify. To you, it came out of nowhere. To the horse, it came out of somewhere very specific. Now, layer something even deeper on top of that. Horses are not just sensitive to environment. They are regulated by relationship. This is one of the biggest things people underestimate. In attachment science, closeness changes physiology. Connection changes stress. And the presence of a trusted other can literally alter how the body responds. Horses show versions of this too. Researchers studying equine behavior often use the phrase social buffering. It means the right companion can soften a stress response. Familiar company can lower vigilance. The nervous system borrows stability from relationship. That is herd psychology at work, which means a horse's sudden change may have less to do with disobedience and more to do with security. A field buddy leaves, a barn routine changes, a human becomes inconsistent. Turnout shifts, travel happens, training gets more pressured. The horse no longer knows where regulation is coming from, and then the behavior changes. Suddenly the horse is sticky leaving the yard, suddenly overattached, suddenly defensive, suddenly inattentive, suddenly hard to separate from the herd, or, just as important, suddenly emotionally farther away from you. A lot of people experience that last one almost like rejection. My horse used to meet me. He used to be soft. She used to seem with me. And now something feels off. That feeling is real. But the interpretation is often wrong, because what looks like rejection may be dysregulation. What looks like attitude may be attachment language. What looks like clinginess may be a horse trying to borrow safety. What looks like distance may be a horse narrowing the world because too much feels uncertain. That reframe matters. It changes the emotional meaning of the entire moment. Your horse is not always giving you a hard time. Sometimes your horse is having a hard time with a map that no longer feels trustworthy. And then there's the part that makes this even more personal. Your horse is reading you too. Researchers like Leanne Proops and Karen McComb have helped show that horses are far better at reading human emotional cues than people once assumed. They can distinguish differences in human facial expressions and voices, and other studies suggest that emotional interactions are not always forgotten the moment they end. In simple terms, your horse is not just responding to your aids. Your horse is responding to your state. The speed of your movements, the tension around your mouth, the rhythm of your breathing, the hesitation you think you're hiding, the frustration in your body, the grief you brought to the barn without saying a word. And no, that does not mean horses are mystical mind readers. It means they are exquisitely social, sensory animals. They notice micro changes. So sometimes the horse who suddenly feels different is not only reacting to the environment, he is reacting to the version of you who walked in that day. That can be hard to hear, but it can also be deeply reassuring, because it means these shifts are not random breakdowns in the relationship. They are information. They tell you where the connection feels clear, where it feels muddy, where safety is strong, and where the system is under strain. This is also why a quieter horse is not always a more settled horse. And that's an important warning. Jacques Panksepp's work on mammalian emotional systems reminds us that beneath behavior is state. Fear, seeking, attachment distress, curiosity, play, shutdown. These are not abstract ideas. They shape what the body is able to do in the moment. So if your horse suddenly becomes easy in a way that feels empty, don't rush past that. Stillness can be peace, but stillness can also be conservation. Compliance can be learning, but compliance can also be withdrawal. A horse that has stopped protesting is not automatically a horse that feels okay. Sometimes the horse has not become calmer. Sometimes the horse has become less able to express. That doesn't mean every quiet horse is shut down. It means the emotional quality matters more than the surface appearance. Soft eyes are different from absent eyes. Recovery is different from collapse. Relaxation is different from resignation. And that brings us to the tension point every thoughtful horse person eventually has to face. When does a change mean be curious? And when does it mean pay very close attention? A healthy horse can absolutely have an off day. Weather matters. Arousal changes. Herd energy changes. Bodies feel different from day to day. But patterns matter. If the behavior is spreading across contexts, lasting longer, intensifying or coming with changes in appetite, social interest, expression, movement, touch sensitivity, or ability to recover, and then the change deserves respect, because psychology is not separate from the body. Pain can alter behavior faster than personality ever could. So can chronic stress. So can sensory overload. So can repeated confusion. So can the slow erosion of trust. The biggest mistake is not that people fail to stop a behavior quickly enough. It's that they argue with the behavior while missing the state underneath it. And horses are often telling us about that state long before we are ready to hear it. A horse who suddenly won't stand at the mounting block may not be being difficult. That horse may be anticipating discomfort, uncertainty, or a sequence that no longer feels safe. A horse who suddenly avoids being caught may not be becoming rude. That horse may have learned that human approach predicts pressure, inconsistency, or loss of regulation. A horse who suddenly spooks at ordinary things may not have become dramatic. That horse may be carrying more unresolved arousal than the outside world can see. A horse who suddenly seems distant may not be done with you. He may be waiting to see whether you are still understandable. And maybe that is the deepest reframe of all. Horses do not just react to events. They react to coherence. Can they predict you? Can they trust the sequence? Can they find safety in the relationship? Can they recover when something surprises them? When those answers feel solid, behavior often looks easy. When those answers weaken, behavior starts changing. So the next time your horse suddenly acts different, try not to collapse the whole mystery into one blunt label. Not stubborn, not moody, not naughty, not random. Ask the deeper question. What changed in the horse's body? What changed in the horse's memory? What changed in the social world? What changed in the sensory world? What changed in me? Because that is where the real story usually lives. And once you start seeing behavior that way, ordinary moments become almost shockingly revealing. The pause at the gate, the stare past your shoulder, the unexpected spook, the clinginess, the flatness, the one strange refusal. The horse that feels different before anything obvious has happened. Those are not interruptions to the relationship. They are the relationship speaking in real time. They are the nervous system drawing a map in front of you. And if you learn to read that map, what used to feel confusing can become intimate. What used to feel personal can become understandable. What used to feel like a problem can become a clue. That doesn't remove the responsibility, it deepens it. Because now the question is no longer, how do I shut this down fastest? It becomes, what is this horse trying to organize, regulate, remember, or protect right now? That is a very different kind of horsemanship. And honestly, it is a much more human one too. If you've ever had a horse suddenly act different and later realize there was a deeper reason underneath it, tell me about it in the comments. I'd love to know what the behavior was and what you think was really going on beneath the surface. And if this kind of deeper, science-grounded look into the equine mind is your kind of conversation, subscribe. Not because there is so much hidden meaning in the moments most people walk right past.